This pretty much sums up the game I'm about to play. This is a complete and total conversion of the two arcade games, Rockman Power Battle and Power Fighter, in the Video Geo Pocket Color, which is just an amazing feat. It has all the characters, all the moves, and all the bosses. The only thing that suffered was the music tracks. There aren't quite that many. And in general, the arenas are a lot smaller, single screen for the most part. Anyway, for sake of outside the battle, the Rockman 7 bosses. Mainly because they're such absolute fucks in Megaman 7. But yet in the arcade game, thanks to the buster not being worthless, they're far easier. Plus Rockman's jumping ability is a lot better too. So here we go. I mean, look at that. That would have taken ages in Megaman 7. That's one downside, the most annoying score sound effect ever. It just pierces right to the back of your fillings. Sort of picking these at random, I really can't remember who's at which place. Nor do I really care. The buster's more than powerful enough to tackle any boss. And the health bars don't get all that much larger. I think it's pretty much the limit, really. Slashman was always the worst boss. Well, for me anyway. Such a pain in the ass. And plus, you may notice I slide a lot. That is not my intention most of the time. I'm playing this with a 360 controller plugged in. And of course, because of analog stick, it doesn't really pick up down and across that easily. Bit of a bugger for the most part. Oh well. So yeah, just taking them apart, piece by piece with a buster. Done and dusted. I should have died more often here so I could show off all the characters, but for now it's a pretty much straight run with Rockman. There's a slight bit of lag in the boss intro and in the weapon get screens, but that's just because the emulator couldn't really handle that and recording at the same time. Cloudman. The disappearing fingers. Some little sprite problem. He is just so much easier on this. It's ridiculous. Mainly due to the sprite size. He's not that big, and neither is Megaman. He really fits in a lot better. And no more about bloody 3 points of damage shoved with his fully charged buster shot. I hated that idea. Sorted. There is a timer, as you can see, but I just put it to infinite. It's much easier. And the fights never take that long anyway. The database. One of the few bonus categories. It's just where you can look at some information, but it's all in... Well, I think this game might have got a partial translation, I'm not entirely sure, but it never got a proper localization, so the text in the database entry is just all garbled as anything. And the same with the endings, actually. It's not even in Japanese, it's just in some strange sets. Maybe that's how you change weapons, no real-time stuff, but that's a lot better, really. You can't really do it in the arcades, but it was awkward as hell having to run and dodge the enemy constantly while you search for the right weapon. I'm curious if any of these sprites ended up in the Mega Man 7 redoing for the NES. Well, it wasn't done for the NES, but anyway. I need to snag that game sometime and check it. There was actually a big drive back long ago in the Sprite community on getting all those sprites resized to fit the 8-bit scale, to fit the NES scale. Just gave Mega Man a shitload more poses. Breezeman. Now so much easier. And I make a little bit of a mistake here. Rookie mistake of Rockman. Weaknesses don't always make sense. Especially not with 7 due to the 4 boss idea. Instead of just one long weapon triangle going, or weapon circle going along. Sort of sectioned off and doesn't strictly make sense. Come on, junk shield, remember the junk shield. This post commentary, of course, is just a lot easier. I can't really record both at the same time either for some bizarre reason. The junk shield was actually the best, I think, of the shield weapons. I mean, it managed to hit multiple times, unlike the leaf shield, which was used like 3 times and it just disappears. will just last so much longer, and you can fire a chunk afterwards. Moving on. Shade Man made infinitely easier in this, and in the arcade title as well. All by the power of pure jumping. One major difference between this and the arcade one is there's no invincibility period for bosses. You can cut the fuck out of them with no problem. I mean, look at that. That could have lasted ages. Instead it lasted mere moments. And I guess the life bars do get a lot longer, but you just don't notice it. Usually because of a weakness weapon, or you just... the boss is usually just that easy. I hated this boss. Absolutely hated it in Mega Man 7. In this, though, it's pretty manageable. Boy, do you end up falling foul of my analog stick in a few bits, like that. And its hitbox is also a lot bigger because the top of Pumpkin is still a weakness spot, even when it's open. If I remember correctly, the lights, the eyes dimmed whenever it was open up. You couldn't reach it. And now let's show off base, or fort, however you like to pronounce it. Don't like to stick to the single naming scheme. I actually always preferred his name as Bass. I don't know, Bass just didn't sound as intimidating. But just like Mega Man and every other character, he's got all his moves. I'm not sure if he's got his Desperation charge shot. I have to look at the sprite sheets for that. Because I remember that being a very, very rare occurrence. Basically, if your health was near depleted, you could charge up. And if you charged up for a little bit longer, although it didn't make any difference in the actual animation, the shot was a lot different. In this case, it was like an energy skull. It's kind of funky, actually. Almost sorted. Done and dusted. Now just for Wily. I'm pretty sure all the different bosses are in this as well, but it's just been so long since I last played it. I know the Yellow Devil's in it at least. He seems to have lost his legs for some strange reason. Probably too much of a bastard to animate. I hate this version of Wily. I don't mind the machine or the attacks. I hate the blocking. It's just such a pain in the arse. Nothing to do but just whittle his health away bit by bit. I'm pretty sure though in this version you can't actually wind up with the lower half surviving. I seem to remember that being an issue in this. An issue in the arcade games, but in this it just doesn't apply. Maybe it doesn't. Shame Capcom ditched the Game Boy Classic collection for Mega Man. This would have been a great little bonus game. I'm sure it would have been able to run on the GBA. Hell, there's still a DS version that they could do. Missing in all the Game Boy Mega Man. I can't see it ever happening though. This great little title is doomed to obscurity. Now to finish up, crack the escape pod for a bunch of bonus points. It was nice of them, at least it didn't affect the ending. It was just a little bonus. And get the fuck. Excellent. Oh, it goes right to the back of my phones. Strangely, Bass being the only one animated. And here's the garbling I was talking about. I'm not sure what the problem is. It could be an issue with ROM, or just that it won't display the Japanese characters for some reason in the emulator. I'm not really sure. It seems like a hallmark of a botched translation, but not enough for it to make sense. The botched translation, you expect some parts to come out and look, sort of fit the symbols properly. Anyway, that's that's it for now. This is just a little, I don't know, for a hell of a video, really. Cheerio.